Hi everyone, this is Selina. Welcome back to one of my videos. I hope you're well. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name's Selina and I release a crochet tutorial every week. And this week I'm bringing to you this boho flower headband. I really love it. It's really easy to crochet and it features a chain arc edging and flowers. So this is a really easy crochet project. The free pattern is, as always, on my blog selinaveronique.com. The link will be in the down bar. And for this project I used one skein of Drops Muscat, and this is 100% cotton yarn. It's shade 08 and it's a DK Light 3 yarn. Everything will be linked in the down bar. I used also 3 other skeins of 100% cotton yarn. So this is called, these 3 colors are from the brand DMC, and I think it's Natura. I don't know if I've pronounced that the way it should be pronounced. I will be linking everything in the down bar, all the different shades. So obviously this is a dusky rose and this is a yellow and a blue, and I used these 3 colors for the flowers. And this is also 100% cotton yarn, and it is slightly finer than Drops Muscat yarn. It's more of a fingering type of yarn. However, you could use any DK yarn that you prefer for this part also. This is just what I had in my yarn stash. Again, I will be linking all of this in the down bar. You will also be needing a 3mm crochet hook and a 4mm crochet hook. You will be needing a tapestry needle, a pair of scissors, and also a plain elastic band. So this is a really easy crochet project to make. I will be using US terms with British terms in brackets. I hope you enjoy this tutorial. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. That really helps out my channel. And if you want more feminine crochet content, don't forget to head over to my Patreon page. The link is in the down bar. Okay, so to begin you will be making a slip knot. So just go ahead and make a slip knot. Pop your hook through and tighten. And now what you will be doing is chaining 71. So just go ahead and chain 71. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I've gone ahead and chained less for my sample, but the principle is the exact same. So once you have your 71 chains, so I'm just going to zoom in. So once you have your 71 chains, you are going to be counting 1, 2, and 3 chains from your hook and placing a half double crochet into that 3rd chain. So to crochet a half double crochet, you will be wrapping your yarn around your hook, go into that chain, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook. Take your yarn and pull through 3 loops. And the first chain 2 at the beginning counts as a half double crochet. Now you are going to be placing another half double crochet into the next chain. So just go ahead and place another half double crochet into that. And place another half double crochet into the next chain. And a half double crochet into the next chain, and place a half double crochet into each and every chain across until you reach the end of the chain, and I'll get back to you to show you the rest of the pattern. Okay, so this is row 1, and now I'm going to show you row 2. Obviously your rows will be a lot longer, but the principle is the exact same. So now chain 2, 1 and 2, turn your work, and this counts as your first chain 2 counts as your first half double crochet with this first stitch here. So you are going to be going directly into the next stitch with a half double crochet, and then into the next stitch with a half double crochet, and into the next stitch with a half double crochet, and just place a half double crochet into each stitch across until you reach the end of this row, and then I'll show you what to do then. Okay, so I've reached the end of this row, and I just wanted to show you the end of this row where we will be placing our last half double crochet into the chain 2 from the previous row, because this counts as a half double crochet also. And this is it. You should have a longer headband, but this is our 2 half double crochet rows before we start making our chain arc edging. So to begin our chain arc edging, we are going to be chaining 3, 1, 2 and 3. Turn your work, and we will be working along this edge, so the top edge for now. So this chain 3 goes with this first stitch here. You are going to be skipping the next stitch and going into the third with a single crochet. So just go ahead and place a single crochet into this third stitch. So to do your single crochet, place your hook through that stitch, pull up a loop. You have 2 loops on your hook, take your yarn and pull through 2 loops, and that's a single crochet. Now chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and skip the next stitch and go into the next stitch with a single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, skip the next stitch and go into the next with a single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, skip a stitch and go into the next stitch with a single crochet, and chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, skip a stitch and go into the next and last stitch with a single crochet. And obviously you will have a much longer row, but the principle is the exact same. So now you have your first row of chain arc edging, and now we are going to be wanting to work on the other side. So to do so, turn your work like so and slip stitch. So just go ahead and slip stitch through this part. So just go into the next stitch, into slip stitch, take your yarn, pull through this loop and pull through this loop, and now go into the next stitch and pull through, and go into the next and last stitch and pull through. And as you can see, we've reached the other side, and this is the chain, the beginning chain, but it's the same principle. So now chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, skip the next stitch here or next chain and go into the next with a single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, skip the next chain and go into the next with a single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, skip a stitch and go into the next chain, chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, skip a stitch and go into the next, chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, skip a stitch and go into the next and last stitch with a single crochet. And this is it. You finished your chain arc edging on this side, and the only thing left to do is to fasten off. So just go ahead and fasten off, and I'll show you what to do next. So here we go. This is what you should have. And as you can see, I fastened off and left a long tail for sewing. And this is what I have. So now I'm going to show you how to crochet your flowers. And yeah, so for your flowers you are going to be taking your 3mm crochet hook and your 3 different colors as listed in the down bar, or your choice of colors. I've already made my blue flower, and I've also made my pink flower, and I'm really pleased with how they look. And now I'm going to show you how to make another one of the pink flowers. Obviously you can choose whichever colors you prefer. That is just my personal preference and what I had in my yarn stash. So to begin, we are going to be taking our yarn. I'm going to choose yellow, make a slip knot, pop your hook through, and like I said, this is a 3mm crochet hook. And now we are going to be chaining 4, and I recommend chaining loosely, so just 1, 2, 3 and 4. You don't want this part to be too tight because obviously this is a 3mm crochet hook. Okay, so we've chained 4 and we are going to be slip stitching through that first chain like so, and we are going to be working inside this center. So now chain 1, and that does not count as a stitch, and we are going to be placing 10 single crochets inside this center. So go directly into the center. I am going to be sewing in this loose end as I go, and place 1, 2 single crochets, 3 single crochets, 4, and go ahead and place 10 in total. Okay, so I've got my 10 single crochets, and now to finish off this round we are going to be slip stitching through the first single crochet, so not the chain 1 but the first single crochet like so. And now we are going to be fastening off and pulling through to finish this off, and just pull on this loose end here if you've sewed it in like me, and this will close off this this center here. I don't like it when there's too big of a hole, but this is just my personal preference. And now we are going to be taking the pink yarn, or your preferred yarn. Okay, so I'm going to attach this yarn. I'm going to attach it to the first single crochet. You can attach it to any single crochet that you want. So just go ahead and do this, tighten. This looks a bit messy at this point, so I do apologize. It will get a bit less messy as we go along. Pop your hook through the stitch you just attached your yarn to, pull up your yarn, and now chain 2. So 1 and 2, and we are going to be going back inside this stitch, so that same stitch with a double crochet, but we are not going to be finishing it. So just wrap your yarn around your hook, go into that stitch, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook. Take your yarn and go through 2 loops and leave this stitch unfinished. Now wrap your yarn around your hook and go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, and take your yarn and pull through 2 loops, and now you have 3 loops left on your hook. Take your yarn and pull through all 3 loops, chain 2, 1 and 2, and go into the base of this stitch here with a slip stitch. So just go ahead and slip stitch to this stitch, and go into the next stitch with a slip stitch also, And we've just created our first petal, and we need 5 petals in total. So now chain 2, 1 and 2, and again repeat the same process. Wrap your yarn around your hook, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook. Take your yarn and pull through 2 loops and leave this stitch unfinished. Wrap your yarn around your hook and go into the next stitch. Pull up a loop. Take your yarn and pull through 2 loops. You have 3 loops left on your hook. Take your yarn and pull through all 3 loops. Chain 2, 1 and 2. Okay, so go through the base with a slip stitch and go into the next stitch with a slip stitch. So just repeat this process 3 more times and I'll get back to you to show you how to finish off this petal. So I've almost finished this flower, and so to finish off this flower I'm simply going to slip stitch under the first stitch like so. As you can see, I'm going to fasten off, leaving a long tail to sew the flower in to the project. There we go. And now I'm going to tighten this center again as much as I can because I think it looks nicer. Snip this off. And this is our flower. You will be taking away all those loose ends also, but this is the flower. So now I'm going to show you the rest of the project. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to sew these flowers onto the project. So I'm really enjoying how this project looks. This is how I've placed my flowers. The pictures are on my blog, so as you can see I've placed them more to one side than at the center. I just think it looks more subtle, and I'm going to start sewing these flowers in by taking one flower and sewing it where I want it to be. So take your time for this part. You don't have to rush. Make sure that you place them right. As you can see, I'm testing this quite well. Okay, so this is where I want this flower to be. Again, you can use pins to pin these in place if you prefer. I rarely use pins. I don't know why, but I'm just going to be sewing this petal in. As you can see, I hope you can see. Let me just zoom in. Okay, there we go. So yeah, just sew this in as best you can. There is no specific order with which to sew this project in. You can just sew this in as light you want. There we go. Switch this round like so. Sorry. And just sew this petal in. Well, petal flower. And obviously I'm careful because this is the pink yarn. I'm just careful that I'm going through the petals, which are pink, and I'm not obviously going onto the yellow part. I am going to not sew this in too well, if that makes sense. I'm sewing it so that it looks quote unquote natural. So I don't want the flower to be completely flat, if that makes sense. On the project, I do want it to have some dimension, so that means just sewing it like that. There we go. I hope I'm making sense. So there we go. I've sewed this flower in, and to finish this off, you can go round a bit more if you want. This is entirely up to you. There is no rules. There are no rules in crochet. I just feel this is enough for me. So I'm just going to tie 2 knots, and then I'm going to snip off my yarn. Again, do what you think is best. There we go. And this is my first flower sewed onto the project, and now I'm going to do the exact same for my 2 other flowers, so I'll let you do that. I'm going to sew the blue one like that, and then the pink one here. So I'm just going to let you carry this on off camera, and I'll meet you back in a moment. Okay, so now that we've sewed on our flowers, I'm going to show you how to attach your elastic band and finish off this project. So this is the one I'm going to use, and you are going to simply take a simple elastic band and tie it in half. So I'm going to try and show you on camera. So there we go. Just make a knot on a simple elastic band, and this is how it should look. I'm just going to use this one because it is slightly thicker and I like that better. So now I'm just going to take my loose end. So I happen to have I believe 2 loose ends on each side, so a loose end on either side of this project. Just take your tapestry needle and start sewing on one side to your elastic band like so. So let me just zoom in. There we go. There we go. And you are going to be sewing the entire width of this elastic band to your project like this. So just do this. I'm going to go around twice just because I want it to be nicely secured, because obviously there'll be quite a lot of pressure on this project once we use it in our hair, or at least in my hair because I've got a lot of hair. So there we go. So once you're satisfied with how sewn in this is, just go ahead and create a knot as best you can. So I'm just going to tie a few knots, but you can just tie one or there. I'm just going to snip off my yarn like this. There we go. So this is the first side, and now you are going to switch this like that and attach. I'm trying to be as clear as possible on my camera. Let me de-zoom. There we go. And do the exact same with the other side of this project like this. So obviously make sure you've not twisted your headband, but that's fairly easy. And just sew on the other side, obviously the whole width of this project. So just do this, and then I'll show you how to do the rest to finish off this project. Okay, so I finished my project, and this is what it looks like. I'm really pleased with it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.